Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to the Daily Indian Express newspaper analysis for the date 3rd April 2024, brought to you by Ganesh AS Academy. Let's get into the today's newspaper analysis. Mentioned here are the list of articles which we are going to have the analysis in the upcoming slides. So have a look into it. Okay, let's analyze every article one by one. Ensure premixes not sold as health or energy drinks. The FSSAI, the National Applied Food Regulator, to e-firms. So this is what the news is about. From the heading itself, we could able to come to know that what the news is about. Okay, let's look into what kind of regulation the FSSAI has issued and what the FSSAI is actually about, and what is the function of it, and what is the structure of it, and what criticism it has. So these are all the things which we are going to analyze in the upcoming slides. Before that, let's look into the relation of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to Indian polity and governance constitution. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with statutory, regulatory and various quasi-judicial bodies, which comes under GS paper 2 through a major topic called governance. So this is how the news has been related with examination. Okay, let's look into the further details of the news. The country's apex regulator, that is food safety regulator, has asked the websites, those who are selling food products, to ensure that the drinks or the premixes are not sold or available with them in the name of health drinks or the energy drinks category. So this includes the products like Horlicks, Bournvita, Complan, etc. This is to make sure that the people are not misled. Why? Because it will be applicable. This direction is applicable to all the websites as well as apps, those who are selling food products. Why? Because what's such a kind of thing, or naming particular product or premixes as health drink or energy drink will be leading to misleading of the consumer is, there is no category called health drinks. That is the reason why. So according to the health standards, there is no particular category called health drink. So a particular product should not be sold as health drink. So that is the reason why the regulations has been issued by FSSAI to the e-firms, those who are selling the products through online. And this corrective actions will enhance the clarity as well as transparency with regards to the nature of the functional properties of the products. It will ensure that the consumers, those who are buying those products, will be well informed rather than misleading with the fancy terms. So FSSAI has said these are licensed as proprietary foods and not as health drinks under the Act, FSSAI Act, Food Safety Act. See, what does this proprietary items is? So proprietary items are those items which contains ingredients that are which will be coming under the safety standards that has been issued by the government or the regulators. Such a kind of products whose ingredients coming under the safety standards are called as proprietary items. And the formulation as a whole, which was implied to make the product, will not be coming under the proprietary items. Only those ingredients which are coming under the standards, food safety standards, those products will be called as proprietary items, and it is not the formulation as the whole. As there is no category called health drink, then the product should not be sold in the form of health drink or the energy drink. So this is the reason why the direction has been issued by FSSAI. So let's look into what does FSSAI is about, how it has been formed, under which act it has been formed. So it came into existence in 2008 under Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. The act consolidated all the former acts, that is acts like Adulteration Act, the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, Food Safety Act, as well as the Food Standard Acts. Such a kind of acts were prevailing previously. This act consolidated all the acts which were prevailing or implemented in the bits and pieces. So it regulates the manufacturing, storage, distribution and sale as well as import of the food articles. And this is what the FSSAI is about, and what is the structure of it. See, it is made up of 22 members and a chairperson. Nearly 1/3 of its members should be a woman. And the chairperson will be appointed by central government. It includes team of scientists, researchers for testing the food qualities. FSSAI Main headquarters is New Delhi, and its regional offices are located in Delhi itself, Mumbai, Kolkata as well as Chennai. So these are all the structures as well as the headquarters related aspect of FSSAI. So what criticism the regulatory body is facing? See, the time consuming is the first and foremost criticism it is being faced from the stakeholders. Time consuming from what sense? From formulating the standard process. See, because of the evolution of science as well as technology, the standards are the process which are involved in assessing the food products will be changing. As a result of the dynamic nature of the standard, the process of the food safety regulatory authority hasn't been made in tune with. As a result of which, it is still consuming more amount of time to formulate new standard process according to the needs as well as aspiration of the current science as well as development. And there is shortage in manpower in terms of all the functionalities that has been done by FSSAI, and inadequate infrastructure in terms, most importantly, digital infrastructure is lagging the entire process of the food safety authority. Fourthly, lack of proper scrutiny with regards to the licensing of the particular product or licensing particular organization is also acting as one of the criticism for FSSAI. So these are all the criticisms that have been placed against the FSSAI, and this is what the overall analysis with regards to the news is about. Let's look into what are all the things which we needed to be further aware of. We should be aware of what are all the other regulatory bodies which are right now being functional in India. Secondly, we should also be aware of the national health policy. Thirdly, we should also be aware of the tribunals. What are the different types of tribunals that is present? What are all the statutory as well as the constitutional aspect of it? So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of. And with this, we have reached the end of this topic. Heat warning. So as we all know, because of the climate change as well as the other thing that is related to the climate, other disaster that is happening because of the climate change, the heat wave is acting as one of the disaster, the climate induced disaster. There is some data that has been given by the different stakeholders. So the news is related to the heat waves and the data is related to it, and the impact that it has created, and what are all the way forward need to be taken by the policy makers. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into the linkage of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to India and world geography. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS paper 1, major topic called India geography, through a subtopic called important geophysical phenomenon like earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activities, cyclone, etc. And this is how the news has been related with examination. Let's look into the details of the news. In most part of the country, the spring season is shrinking because of the increased heat waves. In 2022, the country experienced its hottest March since 1901, and last year too, the heat waves started in early March, and many areas reported temperature that were higher than the average. This year also, several parts of South India have experienced a hotter than usual month. Climate change is also increasing the frequency as well as the intensity of the extreme weather events that is happening in the different part of the country and also different part of the global level. The IMD has warned the heat wave spells could last 10 to 20 days instead of the 4 to 8 days which it used to have. And measures need to be put in place to protect the most vulnerable from this increasing temperature. In May 2010, heat waves claimed more than 800 lives in Ahmedabad. The aftermath of it, this tragedy has made the municipality of the Ahmedabad to partner with Indian Institute of Public Health as well as American academics to develop the country's first heat action plan in 2013. It focused on creating important things like early warning system, increasing the capacity of healthcare professionals, promoting the adaptive measures in workplace as well as creating awareness with regards to the impact of the heat waves. So because of this, there are some advantage. What the experts are saying is that the strategy has saved more thousands of lives every year. Since then, more than 20 states have coordinated with National Disaster Management Authority to develop their own heat action plan. This is one side. On the other hand, there are still locals or the people, those who are living in the outer part of these cities or areas in the places like slums. What they are saying is that such a kind of action plan haven't been implemented yet, and the fruits of those implementation haven't been seen by them for the past few years. So this is what the criticism or the grievance being placed by the people, those who are living in those areas. And under-resourced municipalities also doesn't have the capacity to deal with such a kind of extreme events. So this is also the another criticism that has been faced against the local bodies. So the last year in Navi Mumbai, the heat waves have claimed nearly 13 lives. So this has shed the light on the need for more local level weather observation. That is, the satellite city sources, the satellite data need to be tailored towards the local needs, rather than making the data available for the entire state. These data need to be tailored towards the needs as well as the geographical aspect of the local conditions. And this is what the suggestion that has also been put forward by the experts. Studies have underlined that there is a need to fine tune the maximum temperature criteria that has been followed right now to declare a particular event as heat waves. These thresholds need to be localized to the local level condition. If a particular, there are some places where even 20 degrees Celsius will be considered as heat waves. There are some places where the 40 degrees Celsius will be considered as heat waves. So such a kind of differential benchmarking of the heat wave criteria or the standards need to be made, and this criteria need to be localized towards the local conditions rather than generalizing these conditions for all the states as well as districts. So this is what the things that has been put forward by the experts in this article. So this is what the analysis of the news is about. So let's look into what are the things which we needed to be further aware of. We should be aware of IMD, its structure, function as well as the objective. Secondly, we should be aware of United Nations Framework for Convention on Climate Change. Thirdly, we should also be aware of the climate change schemes. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. World Bank, Indian economy seen expanding at 6.6% in the financial year 25. So this is what the estimates that has been given by World Bank. Let's look into the further details of the news as well as what is the World Bank is about and the functionality of it and how a particular country can become a member of it. These are all and what are all the shareholdings have by the different countries. So these are all the things which we are going to analyze in the upcoming slides. First, we will look into the relation of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to economic and social development. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS paper 3 through a major topic called economic and development, under which a subtopic called Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resource, growth, development and employment. So this is how the news has been related with examination. So World Bank estimated the output growth in the South Asia to 6 to 6.1% in the financial year ending 25. It is due to strong growth in India, where the economy is seen expanding at 6.6%. RBI has forecasted the growth will be 7% in the financial year 25. In India's growth has rebounded strongly after pandemic, and this rebound is driven by government spending and most recently by the construction industry. Despite it, the private investment in the Asia's third largest economy, that is in India, have remained weak for quite some time. Over 2000 to 2022 time period, the employment ratio in India has declined drastically, but this trend has been reversed during 2023. So this is what the data that has been brought out by World Bank. Excuse me. Okay, this is what the prediction or the estimates that has been given by World Bank and the trend with regards to the employment that has been given by World Bank. Let's look into the details of what is World Bank is. See, the World Bank is an international financial institution that provides loans as well as grants to government of low as well as middle income countries. It was established along with International Monetary Fund in 1944 at Bretton Woods Conference. The World Bank is the collective name for IBRD, that is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and International Development Association. These two banks are combinedly called World Bank in the World Bank group. So this is what the World Bank is. Let's look into the shareholding by each countries in the World Bank. So we could able to see that US occupies the majority of share, that is the 16.65%, and the voting rights will be dependent on the amount of the share a particular country is having. If a particular country, for example, the US is having 16% of share, means that is which is higher than the other country, means then their voting rights or the voting pattern will have clear advantage over the other countries. So similarly, we could able to see that India is 3.18, France is 4.9, UK is also 4.09, Germany 4.41, Japan is second highest with 8.07, and China is 4.96. So from this this shareholding will be determining the voting in the World Bank important decisions. So this is what the shareholding is about. Let's look into the condition to become the member of World Bank. So to become a member of the bank, a country must first join the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the membership of IDA, IFC as well as MIGA, which are all the subgroups under the World Bank group, is conditional. A country has to first become a member of IBRD for that, if they want to become the member of all the other groups. So this is what the process or the procedure that has been followed in becoming the member of World Bank. And apart from it, a criticism that has been faced by the World Bank is that the criteria it fixes to dispose loan to the less underdeveloped as well as the less developed country is very high. Secondly, it has been entirely dominated by US because of the highest shareholding it has. So these are all the criticism that has been faced by World Bank with regards to the credit giving as well as the decision making in the board of the World Bank. So this is what the news with regards to the World Bank prediction with regards to the Indian economy is about. What are the things which we needed to be further aware of is we should be aware of IMF, its structure, function as well as objective, and United Nations Organization, its structure, function and objective. What are all the important sub-organizations that will be coming under it. Thirdly, we should also be aware of Asian Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank as well as the New Development Bank of BRICS. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Manufacturing PMI at 16 years high has new orders jump in the March. So manufacturing, because of the manufacturing sales as well as production, the purchase manager index for the manufacturing sector has increased when compared to the previous month. So this is what the news is about. Let's look into the linkage of the news with the examination. Under prelims, the news is related to economic and social development. Similarly, under mains, it has been related with GS chapter 3 through a major topic called economic development, under which a subtopic called Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resource, growth, development and employment. This is how the news has been related with examination. So let's look into the further aspect or the details of the news. Beyond by the strong production as well as sales, India's manufacturing sectors has increased in terms of its in terms of the values from the purchase managers index. The PMI has surged to 16 years high of 59.1 in terms of the index value, which is higher when compared to the previous month, that is the February month, which was 56.9. If the PMI index is higher than 50 means, or the score is higher than 50 means, then it is considered as the expansion of the particular sector. If it is lesser than 50 means, then let's look into the reason for the release of the PMI for India. The PMI data is being released by S&P Global, and the manufacturing PMI measures the performance of India manufacturing sector, and is derived after a survey of approximately surveying the 500 manufacturing companies. And methodology is, see, the PMI is derived from series of qualitative questions that will be asked by the organization that is taking survey to the list of companies and based on this questions, the final value of the index will be arrived. And the questions are related to 5 key variables these are all the 5 key variables, that is new orders, output, employment, supply, delivery item, and stock or item purchased, and each criteria will be given a separate weightages. Combinedly, it will have 100% of weightages, and each indicator's importance or the values will be combined and the final value will be derived from it. And this value is called as PMI index. If it is greater than 50 means, then it is considered as the expansion of particular sector. If it is lesser than 50 means, then it is considered as contraction of the particular sector. So significance of it. What is the significance it holds? So leading indicator, it acts as the leading indicator of economic activity because it will be released before the IIP index as well as the release of any other official growth related statistics by government. And central bank of many countries also use this index for determining their benchmark interest rate. And it also gives indication for corporate earnings, and it will be closely watched by the investors for investing in the economy. And then a good reading of the index will be increasing the attractiveness of the particular economy. So this is what the significance it holds apart from the demerits which we have discussed in the previous slide. Like in the case of, it will be accessing only the formal sectors. It will be it doesn't have any questions related to the informal sectors. So these are all the analysis with regards to the PMI index is about. What are all the things which we needed to be further aware of? Is we should be aware of index of industrial production, manufacturing policy as well as industrial policy. So these are all the things which we needed to be further aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Let's look into today's practice prelims question. Mentioned here is the today's practice prelims question. So those students, those who are watching this session online, please do comment in the option point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board. So with this, we have reached the end of today's session. So do like, comment, share as well as subscribe Ganesh IAS YouTube channel so that you will be receiving daily current affairs session notification and also weekly environmental as well as science and tech notification, current affair notification, and also any other important session that will be brought in the future by Ganesh IAS Academy. Thank you.